right, and joining me now is Josh Mangi. He's the Deputy Governor of Kisii County, as well as Ruth Odinga. She's the Deputy Governor of the host county of this devolution conference, Kisumu. We thank you both for being with us. Before we get to your concerns on your roles and that being put in law, let's talk a little about the wrangles that we've been seeing in the county assembly here in Kisumu, and concerning, because this has been going on for a while. Now we're seeing what happened today at the county assembly. What really is the issue here in Kisumu with the leadership?
Good evening, everybody. At the Kisumu Assembly, we have had a problem with the Speaker of this Assembly, which is a matter that went to court. And after going to court, there was a ruling that the judgment will be done later in the year. But meanwhile, before that was done, the court ruled that the panel of speakers, together with the Deputy Speaker, should run the Assembly until that time. However, unfortunately, the members of Assembly decided to choose an acting speaker, which is not in the law, who is therefore the one that they wanted to run the county and ignore the panel of speakers and the deputy speaker. And therefore, this has brought in a case where you see a lady in Roth, where the office was closed for her to go in, and she decided to go in. Actually, she's lawfully the one who's supposed to be the
So it's in
deputy
breach
speaker.
of law that all of these other activities are happening?
Yes, it's in breach of law.
All right, let's move on to the concerns of the deputy governors. And let's begin with you again, because yesterday, the official opening, the president was here, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga was here as well. And we saw the governor recognize all of the other officials in this particular county and missed out your name completely. And a lot of people were upset with that, yourself as well. How did that happen?
I'd like to think that probably it was an oversight on behalf of the governor, and I would like to apologize to myself on his behalf. But he has actually apologized on that. But I'd like to say that the issues that bedevil us as the deputy governors is much more than actually having your name only missed. And I don't think I would like to dwell so much on that as to the point that what is our role as deputy governors in this whole devolution. Here we are with a conference where everybody else has been in the program, from the senators, from the national government officials, the commissioners, to the MCAs, have been slotted into the conference. And the only people that was conspicuously missing in this conference
is the deputy
governors without any role. So
let me come to you, Mangi. So you feel like flower girls, that from the services at the county level, you only wait for assignments from the governors. Unless there's delegation of any functions, then your idol, your flower girls, just sitting pretty.
Thank you. So yeah, you see, the role of a deputy governor, as it is now, is to be the principal deputy to the governor. It further goes to say that the governor may assign the deputy governor roles as he may wish. That absolutely puts you at the mercy of the governor. Some governors, like my governor, have found a way of working very well with the deputy governors, and they give them work, they assign them.
Right.
But some other governors, like the governor of Machakos, for example, they don't see eye to eye with the deputy governor of Machakos.
Yeah.
It's because of these differences that we have sought, actually the bill is already in the Senate. We are seeking a bill that will anchor the role of deputy governors in law, so that we know that this is exactly what the deputy governor is supposed to do, and they don't serve at the mercy of the government.
But it's not the first time we are seeing this. This is practice we've seen elsewhere, where deputy governors or deputies will simply, as you said, deputize the chief. So some would argue it's pretentious now for deputy governors to come and say they want this in law, and yet going into the election in 2013, you knew it was not defined. So why now turn around and say you want it defined? And you knew already that there were no defined roles. What do you think, Ruth?
There must be some defined roles to deputize, whether you're deputizing in a school or anything. And basically, in normal cases where the governor is the one in charge of policies and policy making, the deputy is in charge of making sure that the policies and all the visions of the county is delivered, and that they're in charge of the delivery and making sure that it's delivery of services, and also in the administration, coordinating the cabinet and coordinating so that making sure that all the policies are actually implemented. And that is something that can be done. But with us, the situation which I think is really volatile is that most of the governors are not willing to give that delegation to the deputy governors.
She's talking about it again, and what is it you're pushing for it to be entrenched in law. Again, people will find that difficult because you going into that election, and your argument is, why is it they carry all the rules and yet you are on the ticket together? So in essence, you brought part of the votes into the election. But again, you knew beforehand that there were no defined roles. So isn't it this an issue of just ensuring their good working relations, that you as a deputy governor, when things are not working right, can come and say, by the way, I have this clout, so you need to ensure we do not disenfranchise or antagonize my base, as we've seen happen even in national politics?
Yes, that is correct. But then, you see, we are not doing this for ourselves alone. We are doing this for posterity. Yes, we came in 2013 knowing that our roles were not clearly defined. But now we have realized that some governors can misuse the fact that the deputy governors serve at their pleasure and totally ignore them. So what we are saying is that now that we know this, what will happen to the future deputy governors? We want to do this for posterity. We want to make sure that this institution of deputy governors is properly respected and utilized.
So for now, then, taxpayers' money is being wasted. What about those who then would watch this and say, if they don't have roles defined yet, how about we scrap the position of deputy governor? What do you say? Briefly.
I would like to clarify something. We are not vice governors, neither are we assistant governors. We are actually deputy governors. We're supposed to deputize a governor, especially in the case that he's out. We act on his behalf when he's away.
So in the event your proposals in law do not happen, would you then be for the suggestion that you scrap the position of deputy governor?
That would not be for me to answer. It would be for the people the Kenyan people who actually are the ones who make the constitution. Not for an individual like myself to say that it should be scrapped. As far as I know, every chief has a deputy, but the deputy is somebody who works with you hand in hand, who can advise you on what needs to be done, and when you're not there, is able to actually step in your shoes and continue, and so there's continuity within the services that are offered to that county.
Mangi, your final thoughts as well, because there are those who will say if there are no functions, this is not working, scrap the position, let's save taxpayers some money and let things move on.
See, we are not saying that deputy governors do nothing. We are saying that we want to make sure that those deputy governors who have problems with their governors, they should be safeguarded. As we speak right now, as I gave myself as an example, I do a lot of work in this county. I work very well with my governor. But then, the example of Machakos County, where the deputy governor don't see eye to eye with the governor, then ideally, we need to find a way of protecting him. We need to find a way of protecting the institution of deputy governors so that they actually work, because they were elected with the governor, and they cannot be left at the mercy of the government.
All right.
Let them have divine roles. At the moment, we do a lot of work. We do operations.
Okay.
We do coordination.
Right.
But then we want this to be anchored in law.
Anchored in law. And that, those are your thoughts. We thank you very much for joining us. Unfortunately, our time is up. Joash Mangi, Deputy Governor, Kisii County, as well as Ruth Odinga, who's the Deputy Governor, Kisumu County. Thank you both. And we wish you the best. We'll definitely be watching this particular story. And that's it from us here in Kisumu at the Tomboya Labour College. Day 3 is tomorrow. Our stay here will continue. In fact, canvassing the issues that are being raised around devolution 2 years on. Back to you, Wilson and Nancy.